Today we are talking about hands. This is Johnny, he's riding Sedona, and today we are specifically going to talk about how to get your hands better. Now, right now as he's holding his hands are pointed down. They really should be pointed up. And your hands are going to stay in this little 10-inch box all the way around. Now, what I'm doing is he's holding, basically, these are the leathers on a roping saddle, and he's going to hold them in between his hands right here. So as we're walking along, he's going to try to keep his hands in that neutral position. Now, neutral position means you open and close your elbows, but you have to keep your balance, shoulder, hip, and heel. And so you'll be able to stand in your saddle and keep your hands, see your hands moved while you stood in the saddle. So sit back in the saddle and look forward. Don't look forward. Now stand and don't move your hands. Sit back down and stand straight up. Don't move your hands. A little bit better. Now your hands keep pointing down. This is where you have to loosen those elbows and keep your hands in the same position while standing up and down. Now stand up. There you go. And sit back down. Stand up, sit back down. There you go. Now your hands are holding within that box a little bit. And that's a little bit much for a posting trot, but right then that's going to give you kind of a good idea of where your hands are supposed to be. So right now we're going to stay on the lunge line and just walk for a little bit just to practice how that hand. Now remember to look forward, shoulder, hip, and heel, and keep the hands in that 10-inch box. And if you need to use the leathers on your saddle, that really helps. So now let's move to the lunge line. We're walking forward and we're just going to practice, number one, finding that balance point, and number two, keeping our hands as flat as possible. That's opening and closing the elbows, keeping the elbows close to the body, shoulders straight, and stand in the saddle without moving the hands. So you also have to not pull yourself out of the saddle. So let's keep walking. Add a little leg, please. There you go. So practicing keeping that hand position just floating above the horse, loosen those elbows, is what this exercise is all about. Okay, ready? Now stand in your saddle. There you go. That was better. You're pointing your thumbs down. Keep them forward. Okay. Now don't look down. Don't look down. Look forward. Give the horse a little leg and let's go some more. So why would you have to learn to have your hands steady? Well, it helps a whole lot. You can't control the horse unless you learn to have those hands steady. And it's all about the elbows and loosening up. So again, we're going to do a 2-point position. Stand in the saddle. Do not move your hands. Ready? And stand. Now you kind of have to squeeze at the lower leg and keep the horse going though. That's kind of the hard thing. Now, when you're asking the horse to go, you're leaning forward a bit. You're actually going to use your legs to reach down and squeeze that horse forward and push a little bit forward with your hands. There you go. You don't want to pull those hands and push at the same time. That's kind of like the kiss of death. That's like pushing the brakes and the gas at the same time. And if you want to be able to trot and eventually canter with steady hands, we practice this at the walk. So now we're progressing on to being able to stand in the saddle the full way around a rotation on a lunge line. Now the object of the game is not to hold on with your hands, but to learn that balance center on the saddle without your hands. So your hands aren't going to have any pressure on the reins, but keep those thumbs up and going forward. It is so much harder than you think it is. Remember, finding your balance point is finding that center where it feels comfortable with your shoulders, your hips, and your heels in line. Your spine is going to be matched up with the horse's spine, but you also need to be able to use your aids, which is your lower leg and your reins. So thank you so much for joining us on today's video. And if you enjoyed the video, give us a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And remember, to see more, check out the playlist.